Hello everyone and welcome to Go-To Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the Phanteks P400 Tempered Glass Edition and see what features it has to offer. The original P400 and P400S are exactly the same as their tempered glass counterparts, except for the tempered glass itself, which comes at a reasonable $10 premium over their respective originals. The version we're reviewing here is the P400 TG, priced at $79 US, which we'll soon learn is a steal for this case given all the features it includes. So the dimensions come in at 18.3 inches by 8.3 inches by 18.5 inches with a weight of 15.4 pounds. The max GPU length allowance is 395 millimeters and has a max CPU cooler height allowance of 160 millimeters. The inside can house motherboards up to the standard ATX size and can also support eATX if you choose to cover the rubber grommets. The support is there, but I'd venture to guess this is not the target case for eATX users. On top of the PSU shroud, there is a removable cover to allow room for a 360mm radiator or just 320mm fans, or if you want to spread out 240mm fans, for example. The rear has a 120mm exhaust fan as well as 7 PCIe expansion slots. Here you can see there are also cutouts in the PSU shroud to attach cables to the bottom of the motherboard. You'd be surprised how many case manufacturers miss this, so to see this included is a very much welcome gesture. The front panel is easily removable, but maybe a little too easy in my opinion. There are two small removable filters on the bottom and the top. I like the smaller filter design as it's much easier to clean, but keep in mind that it may need to be cleaned more frequently than the larger filters. The front also has a 120mm intake fan included, though I imagine most people will either put a radiator up front here or have dual or triple fans to increase airflow. There is also an accent LED located at the bottom of the case here. The back panel is held on by two retainable thumb screws and is supposed to slide off easily, though my sample kept getting stuck for some reason and was difficult to remove, but your mileage may vary. I'd rate the side panel sturdiness as just average, as I have seen better, but I've also seen worse. In the bottom chamber, you have room for two 3.5 inch or two 2.5 inch drives, as well as support for standard ATX power supplies. I am baffled at why a case like the NZXT S340 Elite doesn't have drive caddies, while the Phanteks case for $20 less does. Overall, the back is well thought out with plenty of space for cable management. One thing I like about having these PSU shrouds is it allows for easy hiding of cable clutter, a lazy man's cable management if you will. There are 3 Velcro straps along the back to keep cables tidy, and I have found that cables tend to block access to the grommets. However, that isn't unique to this case. I guess I've just been spoiled by the S340 Elite's cable management system. With that being said, however, the cable management on the P400 tempered glass is actually quite good. You will also find a large CPU cutout which makes CPU cooler installation a breeze. Below that are a pair of 2.5 inch SSD trays, which brings the total number of possible SSDs to 4, if you don't count the optional expansions on the front. On the bottom of the case is a removable filter for the power supply, though this has to be removed from behind, which can sometimes be tricky to access. Again, I have been spoiled by other cases which have a giant filter at the bottom that's removable from the front, although the fractal design to finesse. At this point though, I'm really just nitpicking because this is really quite a good case with really good features. The I/O is a little spread around. On the top right you will find a pair of USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports along with a headphone and microphone jack. The power button is in the top middle surrounded by an accent LED, and the reset and LED cycle buttons are found beneath this upper lip. The bottom of the case is elevated by tall rubber feet to allow plenty of breathing room for the power supply. You could set it on the ground, but I would recommend against doing that. The top portion is covered by a magnetic dust filter. Note, the S variant has solid options to keep the noise out, and has holes for 220mm or 240mm fans. Keep in mind though that there is not enough clearance to the motherboard for radiator support here. I'm really quite happy with how this build turned out with the Phanteks P400 tempered glass case. Sure, it's a bit overkill for my HD PC, but dang, it really looks awesome, especially paired with the Oro Z270X Gaming K7 and Dark Rock Pro 3. I still need to get a GPU in here, but I just love the overall look of it. Anyways, if you like how this build turned out and liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow me on Twitter at GoToTechReviews. And as always, thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.